in the heart.
You will never set foot on another stage again if you want to be my wife, Emeka said, his voice cold and final. Ada was confused. She stared at Emeka, the man she had dreamed of building a life with. Her fingers trembled as she gripped the edge of the dining table, her throat tightening with disbelief. But acting is my life, Emeka, she whispered. It is not just a job for me. It is my passion. It is my dream. And I am your future, Emeka retorted, leaning back in his chair. Do you think I want my wife parading on stages and in front of cameras for the world to see? If it is money that is your problem, I will pay you monthly, more than what you earn from acting. You won't lack anything. Ada's mind raced. What's going on? Was this love? She loved Emeka deeply, but his words felt like a cage slowly closing around her. She had fought too hard to build her acting career. Sleepless nights rehearsing lines, enduring countless rejections, and now, finally, landing lead roles. Emeka, she said, her voice quivering, I understand your concerns, but I can't just give up everything I've worked for. Acting is part of who I am. Then you're choosing your career over me, Emeka said, standing up. His tall frame cast a shadow over her, his tone sharp enough to cut. You know how much I love you, but I need a wife who puts her family first, not a woman chasing fame. Tears welled up in Ada's eyes. She rose to her feet, shaking her head. No, Emeka. It is not about fame. It is about fulfilling my purpose. I want to inspire people with my talent. Fine, Emeka said, his face tightening. If that's what you want, go ahead. But don't expect me to stick around and watch. Ada gasped. So you are giving me an ultimatum? Call it whatever you want, Emeka replied, picking up his car keys. I won't force you, but I know what I want in a wife. Just think about it. He left without another word, leaving Ada alone in the quiet room, her heart shattering into pieces. She sank into a chair, staring blankly at the table. How did they get here? They were supposed to be planning their wedding, not tearing each other apart. She loved him, yes, but at what cost? He had always known that she acted, even before they dated. He never raised up any concerns. He never showed her that he didn't like it. So what's going on now? The clock on the wall ticked loudly, each second amplifying the weight of her dilemma. Could love survive such a sacrifice? Or was she destined to choose between her dream and her heart? The next morning, Ada woke up to an empty bed and an even emptier heart. She hadn't slept much. Memories of their happiest moments played on a loop in her mind. Late night drives, whispered dreams under the stars, the way Emeka always knew how to make her laugh when she was down. Now those memories felt like fragile glass, slipping through her fingers. She pulled herself up and went to the living room. Her phone sat on the coffee table, its screen dark and ominous. She wanted to call him, to say something, anything that would fix the gaping hole between them. But what could she say? Where would she start from? What is there to say? Instead, she scrolled through her messages, stopping at one from her manager. Auditions for the new movie are tomorrow. Huge opportunity. Let me know if you are in. Ada stared at the message, her thumb hovering over the reply button. A huge opportunity. Was it worth it? If the man she loved wouldn't be by her side. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock at the door. She opened it to find her best friend Kemi standing there, concern written over her face. How bad is it? Kemi asked, stepping inside without waiting for an answer. Ada tried to smile, but it broke halfway. Bad, she admitted, sinking onto the couch. He doesn't want me to act anymore. He says he will take care of me. He will give me everything I need. But Kemi, I don't want that. I want my life. I want my work. Your dreams, you mean? Kemi finished. You want your dreams. She sat beside her. Ada, I've known you since we were kids. Acting is in your blood. Giving it up would kill you inside. But giving it up feels just as bad, Kemi, Ada whispered, tears spilling over. I thought he loved me for who I am. But now he feels like he wants me to be someone else. And I love him, Kemi. I really do love him. Kemi sighed, wrapping an arm around her. Love should never ask you to dim your light, Ada. If he truly loved you, he would want you to shine. The words hit Ada like a punch to the gut. She wiped her face and looked at her friend. What if I cannot have both? What if I can't have him and my career? Kemi shook her head. Then you need to decide what you cannot live without. That night, Ada sat by her window, staring at the city lights below. She thought of Emeka, probably at home, just as torn as she was. The man who made her laugh, who made her feel safe, but also the man who didn't seem to understand her soul. Her phone buzzed again, and she saw another message from her manager. Ada, this role could change everything. Don't miss this chance. Change everything. The words lingered in the air as she clutched her phone, her heart breaking all over again. With trembling fingers, she opened the new message and typed, Emeka, can we talk tomorrow? I really need to see you. She stared at the message for what felt like forever, her thumb hesitating over the send button. Finally, she pressed it, watching the message whoosh away. Would he respond? Would they find a middle ground? Or was this just the beginning of the end? The night dragged on, but sleep never came. Her heart was at war with itself, and she wasn't sure which side would win. The next day, Ada sat in the corner of a small cafe. She had texted Emeka the location early that morning, and now every jingle of the door made her pulse race. When he finally walked in, her breath hitched. Emeka was the kind of man who could command a room without trying. His presence magnetic, but today he looked different. His usual confidence overshadowed by something softer, almost hesitant. He spotted her and walked over. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Hi, he said quietly, sliding into the seat across from her. Hi, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. The silence stretched, heavy with unspoken words. Ada broke it first. Thank you for coming. I don't want us to leave things the way we did. Emeka nodded but did not meet her eyes. I've been thinking a lot since last night. Me too, Ada said, her voice cracking slightly. She straightened, trying to steady herself. Emeka, I love you. I love the life we have dreamed of together. But I don't know how to be the woman you want me to be without losing myself. His jaw tightened and he finally looked at her. I'm not trying to take that away from you, Ada. He exhaled deeply. I've seen what fame does to people, how it changes them. I don't want that for us, for our family. I want a simple life. A wife who is present, who doesn't have the whole world pulling her in different directions. Ada's eyes filled with tears. And I understand that, Emeka. I promise we will have a simple life. I will be present. I will do all I can to make things work. Acting is not just about the stage or the cameras for me. It's about the stories, the people I get to touch, the way it makes me feel alive. It's not something I can walk away from and still feel whole. Emeka leaned back, his gaze searching her face. You think I'm asking you to stop because I don't believe in you? But it's not that, Ada. I believe in us. I don't just want your career to come between us. Ada's heart broke a little more with each word. But can't you see? Asking me to choose between you and my passion is already putting a wall between us. The air between them grew heavy again. There was, hanging like a storm cloud, ready to burst. Emeka reached for her hand, his touch warm but uncertain. I don't want to lose you, he said. But I'm scared, Ada. Scared that this world you are so in love with will take you away from me. And I am scared too, she admitted, her voice trembling. Scared that if I give up everything I've worked for, I will grow to resent you. I don't want that. I want to love you fully, without regret. For a moment, it seemed the world held his breath. Emeka stared at her, his eyes clouded with pain and something deeper. Love, fear, confusion, all tangled together. I don't know how we can fix this, he said finally, his voice barely audible. Ada's heart sank as the weight of Emeka's words settled over her. She searched his face, hoping to find a glimmer of compromise. But all she saw was the same pain she saw reflected in his eyes. I don't know how we can fix this either, Ada admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. But I do know one thing. Love is not supposed to feel like a choice between two parts of yourself. Emeka dropped his gaze, his hands slipping away from hers. I never wanted to make you feel that way, Ada. But what kind of life will we have if we are always pulling in different directions? She nodded slowly, tears streaming down her cheeks. Maybe that's the answer, Emeka. Maybe we love each other, but we are not meant to walk the same path. Emeka's jaw tightened, his eyes glistening. I don't want to let you go. And I don't want to let you go either, she said, her voice breaking. But love should not clip wings. It should help you fly. The words hung between them, a truth too heavy to ignore. They sat in silence, both of them knowing what came next, but neither wanting to say it. Finally, Emeka stood, his movement slow and deliberate. You deserve to be happy, Ada, truly happy. And if acting is what gives you that, then I won't stand in your way. She rose to her legs, trembling beneath her. And you deserve someone who shares your vision of a simple life. Someone who won't make you feel like you're always compromising. They embraced, holding each other tightly, as if to memorize the warmth of the moment. Ada buried her face in his chest, the scent of him, both comforting and heartbreaking. When they pulled away, Emeka gave her a sad smile. I will always love you, Ada. And I will always love you, she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. As he walked away, the cafe felt emptier than it had moments before. Ada stood there for a long time, letting the reality of their decision sink in. It hurt, a deep, searing ache. But beneath the pain was a quiet sense of clarity. She pulled out her phone and replied to her manager's message. I am in. That evening, as she rehearsed her lines for the auditions, she felt a bittersweet sense of freedom. Her heart ached for what she had lost, but she also knew she had chosen to honor herself and her dreams. Thank you for listening, beautiful people. You will agree with me that the story doesn't have a happy ending. What's your take on the story? Do you think they were too rigid on themselves? That Ada should have listened to what Emeka was saying? Or do you think Emeka should have met Ada somewhere so that they can have a bridge across to reach each other? They say true love does not demand the sacrifice of one's identity or passion. While love is about compromise, it should never require someone to abandon what makes them whole. Do you think that too? or you think otherwise? Please, let's hear your comments in the comment section. And do well to like, to share, to subscribe. And do well to turn on your notification button for more interesting stories. Thank you.